So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Walter, a verbal herb, and it is Wealth Wednesdays with Walter, where we discuss everything you can think of about money, how to make it, how to save it, and everything in between. Of course, Walter is a financial expert. He has been in the industry, the financial services industry, for I guess going on 30 years now, and he has worked with people from I won't say their name, let's say celebrities, athletes, and everyday people, teaching us how to, as I said, make and save money, how to invest it, and a whole bunch of other things. And of course, I'd like to say a big giant thank you to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. The other side of the conversation, you all are not just viewers, you are participants, because we also read each and every one of you guys' comments. We try to anyway, because we feel like you should be heard too. And so on this particular show, the Demetra K Show, we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. Hello, beautiful Jeanette, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about that of Jalen Rose and his sister situation. Jalen Rose, of course, you guys know, is a basketball player. I know that he has played with the Chicago Bulls. It sounds like he is retired now. He is a commentator. He has his own podcast and all of that. And so we're going to get into the situation with him and his sister, Tamara. It's a very unfortunate situation. So we're going to have a conversation. Hello, Stacy. How you doing? Conversation with Walter as to how to avoid being in the situation I'm going to share with you all. So I'll give you guys just a few more moments, just a couple more to come on here. Walter, I see that you have a Recall Newsom shirt. Is that something new or is it something old?
Shit, it's all the time. I'm driving past his house late at night. Recall. It used to say kidnap, but I understand on social media I have to act a certain way.
Yes, sir. So anyway, hello, Monet. How are you doing? And so, okay, we are going to go ahead and get started for the sake of time. And Walter, I know that you are very busy. Walter rushes back here on Wednesdays to be with us because he is running one of many businesses. One of them is a car dealership, if you will. He goes to the auctions a couple of days a week to find cars, and he sells them. So that's one of his, I like to say side hustles, but he's making quite a bit of money from it. So I don't know if it's necessarily a side hustle.
I mean, I don't know if it's that much money. It's all right. I'm out here dealing with the middle class. It's woo. And what's up, Janet? I see you up there.
Yes. And JB, Jay Blackford, how you doing? And whoever else came on here. And those of you who are watching who don't comment, how you doing? And so let's get into it. Jalen Rose, as I said to you all, has a sister. Sounds like he just has one sister, Tamara, who was living in the house that he bought for his mother. Sounds like his grandmother was living there as well. In 2019, I guess the house was bought, and then the mother recently died. The sister Tamara was taking care of the mother and the grandmother. Both of them have now passed on. And it sounds like Jalen wants to sell the house. And so the sister, Tamara, put him on blast. And I'm going to show y'all a video. So bear with me 1 second. I didn't have a chance to actually upload it from my own screen, but I will put it up here. And this is what she said. So let's check this out.
Jalen Rose's sister was upset with her brother.
Yeah. This is what I have to deal with. Yeah, while I'm rehabbing and rehabilitating. So we're going to see how this all works out this morning, y'all. There he is right there, the star of the family who runs everything. Yeah, that's him right there. Yeah, look familiar? While his sister's in the house, rehabbing, grieving from death and loss, he is bringing strangers through here to show a house that someone's living in, as if a whole human being doesn't live in this house. So, yeah. Oh, okay. That's enough. Well, well, I live here, and I've lived here since 2019. No, I'm not squatting here. I've lived here when our mother and our grandmother was here. So that's not squatting. Squatting is being somewhere illegally. I'm not here illegally. No, that's not what squatting means. And you have a college education, so you should know that. You. And as I told him, as long as I'm living here and until I get myself healthy and well, I'm not going anywhere.
Now, with all of that being said, I'm not really for sure all that is going on with his sister and him. Like, why is there doesn't seem to be bad blood? But from what she is saying, and he accused her of being a squatter. So, like she said, squatting is really somebody finding a house that is unoccupied and taking refuge there illegally without the knowledge of the people who actually own the house. Well, to her point, if she's been there since 2019, sounds like she was living there for 3 years or so. And so that's not squatting. He says you're not paying any rent here. Sounds like too, maybe that's an arrangement that they had when she was taking care of their mother and their grandmother. Again, they're no longer here. So he's walking through the house with a contractor. And it looks like he may want to sell the house. So that means that she needs to leave. So I also saw videos of her saying that she's afraid to leave the house because she's afraid that, maybe he's going to have her watched or whatever, and he will lock her out. So she doesn't leave. And I think she had some surgery or something. She was sick herself. And so sounds like she's going through a lot. Now, I've heard both sides of the argument. If it's his house, he should be able to do what he wants. But then I heard the side of, the moral argument in that, well, that's his sister. It sounds like they're the only siblings between the both of them. That's his sister. It's jacked up for him to kick her out of the house. And so I want to know what you all think. And Walter, what did you think of that video?
It was kind of confusing. So was she was talking to him, right?
Yes. So she was filming him walking through the house with a contractor. And she says, I guess it goes on quite a bit, because it sounds like maybe he is getting the house ready to sell. And so he has a key to the house. She lives there. And she's basically saying that he's invading my privacy. I live here. And he's walking through with contractors. And in one video I saw too, sounds like he was wanting to go upstairs or wherever to the bedrooms where she occupies, and she wouldn't allow him because she's like, yo, I'm living here. I don't want you walking people in and out of the house. And so she's there. He's there walking in and out of contractors, and she's upset about that because he's trying to put her out of the house, and she says she has nowhere to go.
It's two-sided. I mean, you know my initial take. It's kind of harsh, so I'm gonna leave that. I ain't gonna say all that.
That's what you're here for. Speak your truth, and I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. Who else came on here? Chalk Chick, how you doing? And brother Joe Nell, what's going on with you, brother?
I mean, it's his sister. I mean, you gotta take care of your family, but we don't know the whole backstory, because I represented several celebrities, NFL rappers, and I know there becomes a point in time where they get tired of taking care of people, and I don't care how much money they have. I had a really good client of mine, worth millions, tens of millions, and he goes, you know what? I'm worried about my retirement. I'm carrying everybody. And he goes, every dollar counts. And this is a dude worth tens of millions. And so I understood where he was coming from. He goes, and I'm in sports. So, you know what they say about NFL, not for long, or NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand what they go through. So there becomes a point in time he says, enough is enough. And we don't know if he warned her, like, hey, when mom and grandma dies, I'm selling the house. And let me ask people what I always ask people is, if you're living in a house for free, why aren't you stacking your own money? Now, I understand she was taking care of the mom and the grandmother. So if that was their deal, you take care of them and then I'll take care of you, then he needs to own up to that. But then the question I would ask myself is, why is it up to him to take care of the mom and the grandma? I know we take care of our moms and NBA players and sports. You always say, my mama, I understand that, but like, maybe his thing with her was, I'm taking care of mom and grandma, which is a huge burden, by the way. I don't care how much money these guys make. Nobody likes spending money that they're not going to ever see again. So I think, looking at it from, like, if I was her, I would be stacking my money. See, because if I live with you and I don't have any bills, and I know that when these two people die, I'm on my own, I need to be stacking money. I saw her, like that they're gone. Why is she in the house during the day? How come she's not at work? How come she's not getting her hustle on? Like if I'm taking care of my mom and grandma and they both die, my relationship with you is I'm staying here because I'm taking care of them. They're passed on. It's 6 a.m. Let's go. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I bet you if it was something like that, where she was on the move doing her thing, like, okay, I'm gonna take care of me now. What can I do for you? I guarantee you it would probably be different. He wouldn't be up in there with contractors. But
absolutely. So I also heard, now somebody told me, so I haven't read it myself, but just heard from someone that I guess they had a deal that she was supposed to, I guess, open up a beauty salon. I don't guess maybe she does hair, or she did hair. She was supposed to open up a beauty salon, but she didn't do that. So I guess maybe he's now like, well, okay, I'm gonna sell the house. And so Gerard, how you doing? Who else came on here? Elevate my mind. I love that. How are you doing? And I'm reading your comments and putting them up. My take on it is this. I'm kind of on the, I get the legal side. And yes, for somebody who asked, is it in his name? It sounds like it is in his name. I'm more on the moral side, in that as your sister, sounds like it's your only sister. She took care of mom and grandma, and that's, a feat in and of itself. So it sounds like she probably had to sacrifice some time. Now, maybe he was paying her. I would imagine she was getting something, some financial compensation out of it. On the internet, it says that he is worth about $50 million. It's his money. It's his money. He can do whatever he wants. But I want to put myself in Jalen's shoes, okay? If it was me, and I have $50 million and I had a house that was paid for, my sibling is staying in the house, I'd be like, here, you can have it. You have it. Now you need to pay the property taxes and, whatever else needs to go on, but it's yours. I'm signing it over to you as a gift, a thank you present for taking care of mom and grandma, because it sounds like they were very instrumental in his life. Here you go, and do what you need to do. Make it do what it do. You know what I mean? That's me. I come from the moral side of things. And Gerard, you say he should help her transition to the new place. He has more money than he could spend, but not a blank check for her. So I totally agree with you. And Brother Jonah says she's grown family or not. You shouldn't be too comfortable depending on anyone. We as Black people are in the same situation with America and need to do for self. She sees what maybe's coming. So the question is, what is she doing for self? I totally agree. Brother Don, how you doing? Yes, and my parents, we've heard this a lot from our parents. God bless the child that's got his own. Because this is the thing. And Walter, in audience, y'all help us out here. When your people die, or our people die, we shouldn't be that buzzard that's hovering over like, yeah, they about to kill over. I'm getting this, I'm getting that. Like, if your mama, your daddy, or whoever died, your survival should not be contingent upon their death. Like, I'm glad they died so I can now get something. You should already have your own stuff. If your mama died with a house, you're like, okay, fine. Well, I got siblings. Let's discuss rationally what we gonna do with this house. It shouldn't be, I know in some cases it is, but it shouldn't be to the point to where it's like, well, we need to sell the house because I need the money. Well, what if mama and daddy never died? Was you gonna need the money? And what was you gonna do to take care of yourself? You know what I mean? So you should have your own stuff already. But Jonelle, as you said, especially in our community, that's not necessarily the case. And so when somebody dies, we need to sell mama house, right? Because I got some stuff I got to take care of. It's like, well, why haven't you been taking care of it? And Dwayne, how you doing? Says she probably can't take care of it, of the house. It sounds like it's too expensive for her. Well, somebody gave me a house. Guess what I'm going to be doing? If I didn't have no job, I'm collecting cans, I'm donating blood, I'm doing whatever I need to do to keep it. Somebody give you a house and you are not, and it sounds like she has some issues herself, but you figure it out, and I know he's got organizations and stuff, but like, yo, bro, can I work for you? Can I earn a check from you instead of you just writing me a check? What is it? Can I do for you? Can you hire me? You know what I mean? There's like this other ways I think she could have went about it. And I don't know how flexible Jalen is, But there's other things that she could have done, I would imagine. Al, how you doing? He said Jalen bought his mom that house after he was drafted in 94. Okay. So they've had the house for quite a while, 94. So that's quite a while. I guess close to 30 years or so, give or take, but it sounds like it's his house. Sister staying there since 2019. I don't know. I just think at some point in time, we should have our own contingency. We should be our own contingency plan, right? Because I hate to think that he's putting his sister out on the street, but why are you in a position to where you could be getting put out on the street? You know? Walter? What do you think about that? Having a contingency plan or people in our community that are waiting for people, and I shouldn't say the word waiting, but when somebody dies, it's like all of a sudden I can't take care of myself. What am I going to do? It's like, well, what were you doing before they died?
Not a damn thing. Board in the house board. Listen, I'm going to say this. At some point, somebody got to be straight with us. Like, and you know me, this burns both sides of my ass. You in the house, and it's taken care of. You should be getting your ass up and working. When the rooster crows, you should already be like, man, what took you so long? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in someone's house, and I get it. You're taking care of the family, and he's helping you, which is a gift from him. Because I don't care how much money you got. Nobody likes to spend money. And after a while, you get tired of it. And how long has he been taking care of his mom and his grandma? Like, honestly, seriously, how long does this dude have money? I guarantee you the minute he got his NBA check, he started cutting checks to family. I know it because I've seen work with these guys, and I know as soon as they get their NBA check, they start spending money with friends and family immediately. Not just giving them money, but entourage, and every time they go out, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would be with some of my celebrity clients, and the bill come, and it's just like they get it. I remember telling one of my clients, we were at a club in LA, and the bill came, it was only like $1,800, but there was like 10 of us. I was like, dude, make these hoes buy their own drinks. You are a star. Why are you buying their drinks?
Did you say $1,800?
And it was me. I ain't gonna say his name because he's retired. Nas was next to us. It was a bunch of people here. This was like one of those LA nightclubs where they have fireworks. And this was back in the days where it was nuts. And the bill came and they handed it to me because I was in a suit and I was a finance guy. And I was like, dude, this is like, we're not paying this.
I'll tell y'all a story. Walter, they used to call him Mr. Black Card because Walter had a black card with American Express. You guys have heard of the black card, had a black card. And whenever we would go places, like we one time went to the House of Blues, and I don't know who the guys were. I don't know who they were. Walter knew, and they was like, there's Mr. Black Card. And so it's like, you know, a lot of times people were like, oh, he's got it. It's like, no, just because I got it don't mean I got it. You got it, you know? So, yeah, I mean, so I totally get that, in that sometimes people who have it, they're expected to keep having it. You know,
they don't want to do it. Spending money sucks. Like, and you get to the point, and again, I don't know his relationship with him and his sister, but I know he's been taking care of her for a long time. But damn, I know I hate spending money. As I get older, that's not on me. Somebody call, hey man, you have $10. I'm like, I'm cussing them up and down. I don't want to spend that $10 I could put in my pocket. I could use that. I could go to the movies and grab a drink, or, you know, the stuff I could do. I hate spending money. I don't care how much money I have or ever have. I don't want to spend money if it's not on me. And I think you get to a point, and especially as you get older, like you start worrying about your mortality, your retirement. And I guarantee you, this brother is probably having those thoughts. Like, okay, is he still even playing in the league, or is he done? So he's not in the league. So if he's worth $50 million, no one knows that. It ain't like he got his net worth on social media. We don't know if he's worth $50 million. You know what I'm saying? But like 50 million, let's say he had 50 million. And let's say it was working. Because if you're worth 50 million, like you could have a house that's worth 5 million, but it's not making money. So that part of the network isn't generating a revenue for you. He might have, he might be on some nigga shit. Maybe he got 25 cars, $3-4 million in cars. I've seen it. I've been to celebrities' house where they got millions of dollars in cars. So those cars aren't producing an income either. There's not revenue coming from that. Matter of fact, if you own a giant house, I'm just thinking of Evander Holyfield, Lord have mercy. If you own a giant house and you got a bunch of cars, not only are they not generating revenue, they are costing you money. So if I got 12 cars outside, I'm paying insurance, maintenance, fixing the scratches when people borrow them. So that's money that it's costing me, not to mention, for somebody like Jalen that could easily spend $100,000 a month on lifestyle and his entourage and people around him and take care of his family. That's 50 million bucks. And that's assuming he hasn't paid tax on that money. For somebody that's used to living that lifestyle is not, well, it's a lot of money, but you understand what I'm saying. We don't know his cash position or, his portfolio. Like if he's got $20 million in the stock market right now, you know what I'm saying? That might have been 20 million in January. Right now, that's 8. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to consider that. And people say, oh, he's got all that money. You don't know what his lifestyle is. You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, he's got all that money, but that's his money. He woke up, he played basketball, he got up in the gym, he's doing training camps, he's doing all that stuff, traveling, missing his family to get that money. He's the only person that can count it. And I think we really, as Black people, we need to get away from, oh, what do you owe me? You know what I'm saying? And I've seen, I ain't gonna be mean, but I see she laid up in the house. She don't look like she's doing her own hair. Never doing somebody else's hair. I mean, like I've listened. You asked me to comment on it, so like, she don't even look ready. You looking ratchet. How you got time to videotape me? And she on camera too, which she should be embarrassed about that as a hairdresser. I mean, like, get your ass up in the Steve Harvey voice and do something with your day. And where's all that money you could have been saving while your mom and your grandma were alive?
Let's address this one. Elevate My Mind. It says, not only that, what do people get from airing family business on social media? Them be the same people who sell their people out for $1 or free just because they're no longer on the payroll. And I agree with that. It's like, why is it on the internet? But let's play devil's advocate, because y'all know I like to do that a little bit. Maybe she was like, I don't know what else to do. Maybe if I shame him publicly, then, maybe he'll feel shame enough to allow me to stay in this house. But it doesn't look like he is moved at all. But that's the go-to nowadays, putting people on the internet, shaming them.
That's whack. That's cold. And see, that's the thing about getting fame or trying to help people. Oh, shit. 07. He might want to count his money again. That's almost 20 years ago. With inflation and investment losses, and I gave my homeboy $1 million to invest in this idea, and that didn't work, or I gave my homeboy this money that didn't. Oh, please. He might be lucky to have 5 million. And I don't know what the house is worth. I don't know the address. But let's say the house is worth $1 million. Do you know what you could do with $1 million? Even $1 million invested. Let's say he bought an apartment building and he's getting 10% on his money. He's got a 10% cap rate. You know what I'm saying? That's $100,000 a year. That's $8,000 a month. That'll pay for $1 million house, a Range Rover, and a Mercedes, and your lifestyle and food. So who's to say he's not on that? Like, my sister's living up in here, and this money that I sell, this house I could sell, invest, and pay for my house, my car, for me and my girl, and pay for our food and our lifestyle. I mean, $8,000 is a lot of money. So we don't know, and I guarantee you, because I know the feeling, you walk in the house and they ain't doing shit. And you getting up working, and you carrying the house, and everybody got something to say or some emotion that's tied to why they can't do shit. But your Black ass is up at crack of dawn, and you falling asleep. Like you get up before them. You, by the time they wake their ass up, you done exercised, worked out, sweat, took a shower, and you already took 2 phone calls. And they in the bed, and you still at work. Oh, hell to the no. Don't even get me started on this subject. She lucky she's still in the house. That would have been me. She might have been up in a Motel 6. You know what I'm saying? With a John or something. Like, hey, listen, I took care of you for 20 years. It's on you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a woman. You have options that men don't have. If I'm a chick, I'm out there, I'm in the club, I'm getting my rent paid.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know
I'll never be broke as a chick.
Yeah, that's very vulgar, but that's the truth. Is like you sitting on the gold mine. You know what I'm saying? That's a conversation for a different day. But for those of y'all don't know, Walter and I are siblings, and you know, my brother. Some people will tell you he's a piece of work, but I will tell you this about my brother. I'm glad that I have the brother I have. Because my brother is no nonsense, and he's had to, you know, verbally kick me in the ass a couple of times, like, nah, you need to make sure you go do it, go get out and do it, type of thing. You know, I'm glad I didn't have a brother. I don't have a brother, I should say, that, you know, coddles.
Yeah, kill me.
Right, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. I'm glad that I don't have a brother who would allow me to lay up and do nothing and be like, well, you know, can you loan me some money? I like, he would, but it would be the last resort that I would do. Like, hey, you know, brother, can I borrow some money? I would make sure I can do all that I can do to get money on my own, because I know that's what he would say to me. He would say, well, have you exhausted all your measures? What have you done before you came to me and expect for me to just give you something, right? Like, it's not, especially like he said, because we've all been around people, whether it's in our own houses or somewhere, who sleep until they can't sleep no more, and then wake up and be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I ain't got no money. Like, you broke because you sleep all the time, you know? And so it is annoying. So I guess if I had to put myself in the shoes of Jalen Rose, I could be like, yeah, I was out on that court, balling all day and night or whatever the case is, you know, saving his money, spending the money. And, you know, I'm sure he's done a lot for his only sibling. That is his only sibling. So I don't think she can make the case and say he's done nothing for me or he hasn't done enough for me, you know? And Stacey, you say, in my case, I was still working and taking care of my mother. And a lot of people are doing that, right? They're still working and taking care of a loved one. I was in the same situation with my mom, R.I.P., you know? And I was struggling at the time, but I was still working and, you know, making sure my mom was good, getting back and forth to her appointments and, you know, all of that. So absolutely. You also say, I kept my apartment at Al's a simple solution, Walter D. Y'all would do better by buying that house. So you're talking about buying Jalen's house. I'm sure somebody's already buying. I think it's in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. Patty Brown, what's going on with you? It says, didn't she stay there a whole year after the mother passed? Yeah, I want to say so, because it sounds like she moved in the house 2019, and I guess the mom maybe passed maybe a year ago. So right, so you might be right. And you say a year is enough free living. I agree with you. Suburbia Jones, I love that. It says, did Jalen Rose take 4 years off to take care of his mother when she was sick? No, because he chose money over his mother. I believe he used his sister's love for mother to use her for 4 years. And that's a very good point. You're off balling or whatever. I guess he retired in 2007. So whatever you were doing, you're married, because I know he was married to Molly Querum and they're not anymore, and whoever else he was with. But your sister is you taking care of your grandmother and your mother. So, yeah, I mean, could somebody make the argument that maybe he owes her for that, taking care of moms?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, here's my approach on it. And this approach I take with my kids. My kids don't know me nothing. First of all, they didn't ask to come into this world. And if I'm in a position where I can't take care of myself and they help me, they've done more than their share. I mean, like, I get it. People say, well, I raised him, and he said, no, he didn't ask to be brought into this world. And I guarantee you, a lot of these kids, if they had the chance, they would undo the shit. I know kids would be like, hell no, just put me back in the womb, pick another sperm or some shit, just let me go. I hate this place. I think if you interviewed most kids, 20% of them be like, fuck it, put me back.
My daughter is one. If I say something to her, she'd be like, she's joking, but I kind of think she's serious. She's like, I didn't ask to be here. I had nothing to do with this. And now you put me in the world to struggle. I'm like,
well, I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying, it's not your kid's job to take care of you. It's your job. Like, I have 6 kids, 4 grandkids. And I ruled the day where I asked one of them to help me take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I fall ill or something like that, okay, help me, but not financially. You know what I'm saying? I have insurance for that, and we could all have it, most of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mom and the grandma got sick. There's a policy out there with living benefits that if you fall ill, stroke, heart attack, whatever, you get sick really bad, you can't take care of yourself, those policies will write checks to you every month, lump sum, whatever, forever. So that's the shit we're not talking about. Is, okay, my mom and my grandma got sick. Where was the conversation before they got sick? And right now, are we repeating the same thing? Because I still know most of us, especially our people, we still don't have that shit. We still don't have the protections. Like, we still don't have the protections in place. I know if I had a stroke right now, if I just stroked out and I'm sitting here like staring at this bottle of 1988 Armagnac from France, I can't wait to open it. Actually, I'm lying. It's open already. But if I stroked out, I know my son Miles, because he's he's a financial dude in the family, would get on the phone with AIG and be like, yo, my father had a stroke. I understand you got a couple mils sitting over there and we need that money. So he's got instructions on what to do, how to get to AIG and how to get the money to come over here. And so my son's not taking off work to take care of me, but I got some fine, super fly nurse coming up in here in heels and a cute nurse outfit, and she's taking care of me. Unless my girlfriend, she want to do it. She got first right of refusal, but she don't. You know what's next? And she noticed. So the insurance company will pay for LaWanda to come in here and take care of me. LaWanda will cook, clean, we'll watch movies together. She'll let me smoke my cigars. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring another glass for the Armagnac. But that, my insurance company will pay for. We can all have that. I know it sounds crazy, but if you were in a position where you couldn't take care of yourself, what would you want to do all day? Just sit here, you at the kids' soccer game, rocking back and forth. You can't tell what team scored. I mean, is that the shit you want to be doing? Or you want to be like, hey, man, you got to go. Like, LaWanda's on her way. You want we get down? I mean, what do you want for yourself if you can't take care of yourself?
And you know why you joking? Stephen Hawking, y'all know Stephen Hawking. He's no longer here. He was the man that I forget what he had, but he was the physicist and It's very smart dude, right? He couldn't really move. Well, guess what happened? He left his wife for the nurse.
So I'm saying he was in a wheelchair, he couldn't even move. He still got a side chick. Come on, Stephen. Represent. That's what I'm saying. So why not get that stuff in place so Jalen doesn't have to say, hey, I'm going to take care of you guys. And everybody in my family know, because me and my sister and my mama sold life insurance and living benefits, and we all know you need to have that shit. It's $75 for $1 million for somebody my age. Period. That's it. $75 for the million, and then you find that you pay into your other long-term stuff for your retirement or when you need future money. That's it. And you're done. And then whatever happens to you, when something happens to you, kids aren't writing a check. My kids, I'm gonna go check on dad. I'm like, hey, make sure you knock. You know what I'm saying? You don't just come in with the code. So his sister, going back to the conversation, she could do that for herself now. And she's had a year. I mean, come on, a year?
And to Brother Jonel's point, it says, I only wonder what is she bringing in? What is she giving back? Because when you're doing nothing, people tend to desire to get rid of those who are non-productive, have no desire to be productive, especially if they try to help you. No one respects a beggar. I mean, and that is absolutely true. It's like, what are you doing to help yourself? I mean, I'll tell you all the time, there's been times when I've had 3 hustles at a time. It's been 2 times in my life, you know, as an adult, to where I've had 3 jobs. Okay. When I say 3 jobs, I mean working in the morning, afternoon, and then a night job. You then get up, you sleep a couple hours and get up and do it all over again. And so, I mean, it's just like, how bad do you really want to do for self? You know, and even now, I got a lot of things that I do, as my mommy always used to say, you know, have multiple streams of income. My father, being a Muslim, he's like, shoot, as long as you got hands, you should never be broke. As long as you got hands and a mind, you should be able to, you know, figure out ways to make money. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of the downfall too, maybe, of having a very wealthy family member, because maybe the other family members are like, well, shoot, I ain't got to do nothing. You know, he's got it or she's got it. In some cases, that's true. They're like, I don't ever want you to do anything. I got plenty of money, or here, I'm going to put you on the payroll. Maybe you'll be my assistant or whatever it is. But in a lot of cases, that's not the case. So what can you actually do to take care of yourself? And James, how are you doing? He says, sup, Sister D, Brother Walter. And Al says, so Shaquille, was Shaquille wrong by saying his girls get money, but his boys have to wait? Yes, so Shaquille O'Neal is like, he's always going to take care of his girls and his mama, but his son's got to go out there and get it. You know, and I guess he's coming from a standpoint of, I'm going to take care of my girls because I'm the, you know, man in their life or whatever. But my sons, yeah, they men, they need to get out there and make it do what it do. So Walter, what is your take on that?
Oh, I thought I just gave my take.
No, I'm talking about on as far as you wasn't paying attention. Shaquille is saying that his sons have to work for it, but he's going to take care of his daughters.
Oh, that's a tough one, because I know daughters could be a piece of work. I got 2 of them. Actually, I shouldn't say piece of work. My oldest daughter is getting into her groove. My youngest daughter scares me a little bit, because she's been in the lap of luxury. And it's hard as hell to leave the nest when you've been treated like the Queen of England. But I would make my daughters work just as hard. Matter of fact, I'd probably put more pressure on my daughters, because they're the ones that are more likely to be left alone. Because dudes leave. They take off. And I'm tired of hearing these stories. Oh, he just left me and had no idea. First of all, that's a lie. You had an idea. But he left me and I didn't have no money. And he left me alone. And that's just, no. I wrote a song for ladies who have men that take care of them. Stack your shit to the sky. Like, every time you get paid, put some in the bank. He get paid, put some in the bank. I mean, like, period. Like, while you got that dude, you stack money. Every time he get his check, baby, we're going to put some money over here. And, oh, I forgot the password. I'll get to it. And you get paid again. And you just keep stacking. That's it. I was watching oh my God, what? I was watching Love and Hip Hop, and I've seen one episode and like 10 minutes of it. The sister girl in there, she's super fine. I can't remember her name. She had she was the rapper. She's coming out with a song, and Jim Jones, his wife, they got into it. I can't remember. I watched it for 10 minutes just because she was on it. I had no idea what the hell the show was about. But she was talking to this chick. Thanks for the money, man. She was talking to a girl, and she was like, yeah, I've been with him 8 years, and I know he got a side hoe, and if he leave me, I'm gonna be destitute. I've been like, you've been with this millionaire for 8 years, and you don't have $1 million stacks?
You know what Shawnee did to Shaquille? Did you hear about that?
Shaquille O'Neal?
Yeah, not that she did something to him per se, but you know, they was married, bunch of kids, and he talks about it even now. He cheated on her a whole bunch of times, and so as he was creeping, she was stacking. And she wasn't stacking money, boo-boo. She was stacking houses. She was getting houses in her family members' names. And so when it came down to it, she was set up. And she, you know, the basketball wives franchise and stuff that you talk about, she owns that. All of that basketball wife franchise is Shawnee O'Neal's franchise. So she was smart in that. I'm not going to get mad at him right away. I know he's cheating, but let me go on and stack some stuff up on him. So that way, if I don't, I don't get something in a divorce, well, I got something, because what she did was she gave the houses as gifts to her family members. And you hold this house, but I will label it as a gift. And if it all goes down the pipes, they my houses. So I'm sure she gave them something for it, but she did that. And that's actually what you're saying. And I know some people are going to say, hey, Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? I know some people's going to say, well, that's kind of shady and grimy, but that's old wives' tale stuff like that. You know, that the old wives used to say, girl, you better stack some money. You mean tell me you ain't doing nothing in case, you know, a rainy day and he leave you and you high and dry, girl, you better put a little something on the side. As my great-grandma used to say, these are the only two suckers I trust. So she would put her money up in there.
I mean, yeah, if you dating a baller, guys or girls, and they going a lot and they taking care of you, best believe, I mean, there's a high chance that they got somebody on the side, just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So the rule is, every time money come your way, put some to the side and put it to work. That's it. I guarantee you, Jalen would see his daughter, I said daughter, but he probably feel like it. His sister getting up, going after it in the hunt, because sooner or later her mom and her grandma went to sleep. And if they're old and not feeling well, they probably went to sleep early. So if you just saw her grinding it out, working, she'd probably still be in the house. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things you could do, because people in that position like to see people hustling. When you're not doing shit and I'm working harder than you, sooner or later I get animosity, and I'm like, you know what, this is bullshit. Because why should you get to wake up at 8, 9, 10 a.m. and my black ass been up with the sun? I ain't having it. You do it for a while, and then after that you say, I'm done. You come to the house and ain't shit in it. You know what I'm saying? the stove, the gas ain't even on. You come home to that. So you need to act like I can't believe I'm having to say this shit. You need to act like you're responsible for what happens to you. That's all. That's all, folks. Click in the story. Like, Lord forbid you be responsible for what happens to you. It ain't your parents' fault. Jalen is not his job to take care of his mom and his grandma. He did that out of the kindness of his heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say take care of, like, it's not his job to support them financially. That's something you do out of love. Period. I don't care, because I know what it's like to pitch in and support things that aren't coming back. Nobody wants to pitch in and you just throw money down the drain. You know what I'm saying? That's why if I was gonna date again, I wouldn't date a chick that wouldn't bring something to the table. Nobody likes to waste money. Period. So and to put him on blast, put him on social media, come on. All you doing is wrecking his day, his week. He's in the media now. Everybody talking about Jalen Rose. I mean, that ain't cool. The brother sure he has enough stuff to deal with. But you know what I don't hear people saying? Girl, you look like you eat well, so he ain't starving you. You say you're a hairdresser, but your hair look ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your shit together, girl. Your brother is a celebrity, is a star, and has let you live in that house for years for free. You tell me you don't have no money saved? Come on now. That ain't right. There's no excuse for that. And if we were being adults, we'd be, oh, we ain't gonna cry. Oh, he's doing her bad. No, you've been taking care of her for years. It's too late. It's time to go. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I said you can keep the house when they die, then that's on me. But it don't sound like that's what he did.
And the other thing too is, I mean, I believe y'all said that. Maybe she's pissed him off. You know, maybe he's like, I'm not gonna do nothing for you. I've done enough. Like when do I get to stop doing for you? When do I get to just go and live my life and not have you as a dependent? You know, and then I guess I don't know if he's in a relationship, but that could be
oh shit.
that could be a damper on this relationship. Like, listen, honey, you know, your sister, whatever. Yeah, I don't have a problem with you helping her, but now she's expecting you to do this, that, and the other. That could be, you know, putting a monkey wrench in his stuff. So I just think at the end of the day, if we are all able-bodied, we should try to figure out how to make our own ends meet. I can't put expectations on you that I'm not putting on myself.
Yeah, especially if he with a sister, she gonna be it's her time is up, honey. She need to go. She need to get moving or do something for herself. So that, yeah, you got a woman in the picture. Oh, because as a man, if you do everything you're right, your woman will still nag, complain, and cuss you out occasionally. You got somebody else you taking care. Oh, that ain't happening. She lucky she's still in the house. Right? And now she didn't put him on social media. Now he pissed. Any incentive he had to help her is now in the trash because she did him bad. You know what I'm saying?
So Alice saying Jalen was paying her to take care of the mother, and he gave her money to start up her business in the house, but she didn't. So if that's the case, then yeah, it sounds like she is just irresponsible and took her brother for granted. Like, yeah, he's gonna continue, you know, caking me off money, even though I'm tricking it off. And so yeah, maybe he just come to the end of the road with her. It's like, see, this is the thing too. I think we need to realize is because Jalen is no longer helping. I say no longer because I just seriously doubt that he wasn't helping her. I'll take the word for it. But just because he no longer wants to be financially responsible for her doesn't mean he doesn't love her. Two things can exist in the same space. I love you, but I'm not going to take care of you anymore, because ultimately, if you love somebody, you will cut them off if need be. Because what do they say? If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. So that's the true definition of love, is teaching a person how to actually go get it for themselves. That way they don't need to keep knocking on your door, say, hey, give him a cash app. Yeah, I need a little change or whatever, right? And Suburbia Jones, you say Jalen Rose called her a squatter, but does he know that squatters have rights? And as weird as that sounds, yes, squatters have rights too. And so, as she said, I am not a squatter. You know, a squatter is somebody who comes in, you know, a space that is not occupied or whatever, and they take over. But I guess in his mind, like, yeah, you a squatter. I've asked you to leave. You won't leave. You're here against my will, you know. So
for him to call her a squatter, it must be owning cracking. He must really be mad.
Yep.
And let me ask you guys a question. Why do squatters have rights? Like, come on now. Like, think about this. I buy this house, I get it going. You get to come up in here and live, and you can just squat. See, that's some hogwash. Squatters have rights. I had somebody try to do that to me in this house. One of my Airbnb guests told me, I have rights. We've been here for a while. I said, let me tell you something. The next time you go to work, okay, well, or whatever you do when you leave this house, all your stuff's going to be on the front porch. And I will call the police for you.
And at the very least, I told him, just tell me what to do. I get on the plane. Shit. I get on the plane.
Man, I put that shit outside. And you know the difference about, and she's like, I have rights. I said, okay, go get them. Go get your rights. Policeman came over here. He came and shut the door. He says, man, I feel you. We deal with this shit all the time. This your house. Look like you take care of everything. She ain't taking care of business. He goes, this is a civil matter. We just came out because we heard there was some potential violence. I said, yeah, she was looking through the window. She's about to get shot. I didn't know who she was. So no, I don't like that, because it's his money. I don't care if he wanted to trick it off. He earned it. It's not his responsibility to take care of his mom and his grandmother. He did it out of love. And then they died, so he filled his obligation to them. And his sister's on her now. And like, take care of yourself. Like, be responsible. She don't look that good. She don't look like she's taking care of herself. She look a hot mess. She don't even look healthy. I'm surprised she outlived the mom and the grandma. Based on her speech and looking at me, if I was talking to my boys and we smoking a cigar and having some drinks, this is the shit we'd be saying. She look a hot mess. She need to get on the treadmill, do her hair, start the business. Her brother gave her the money to start. Go out there and get her a partner, which means you do your partner, get her a man, and you get the party started. He gave you years of rent free. That ain't cool. Now, the more I think about it, I get angry now because I can only imagine what that's like. You taking care of somebody, cutting them a check, and every time you show up, they ain't doing nothing.
And Brother Jonell has a very good point. He says, where is her man? What kind of relationships has she had? How does she view him? Why does she feel so entitled? It's a good point. Do you got a man? You know, if you do and you in that situation, that ain't your man, you know, because in that situation, you're supposed to be with somebody who can help you, whether it's the woman or the man. That y'all can help each other, whatever the case is. But that's the thing I never understood too. Not that this had anything to do with her. I don't know. I don't understand how two broke people get together and do nothing all day. Because I can understand two broke people get together and you want to build. Okay, listen, I'm tired of being broke, baby. You tired of being broke? Yeah, I'm tired of being broke. Okay, this is the plan. This is what we need to do. Let's run it, you know. But two broke people get together and do nothing all day. I don't even know how you even get in the mood to be with that person. Y'all broke all day just sitting up. What you doing? You know what I mean? So I don't know. You make a good point, Brother Donnell. And Jay, how you doing? You say, I had a similar family situation. The house was sold because the family member did not work and was always a problem. The family knew the house would go in despair with unpaid utilities and taxes. Yeah, it's a very sad situation because in a lot of cases, there's always that one person that has this false sense of entitlement that, well, I should because I'm family. It's like, well, that's not necessarily, you know, the case. You don't want to work. And as you said, in the end, you causing problems. You ain't working and causing. Your job is to cause problems for everybody else. And then you mad because we want to be done with you. You know, it's crazy. But there's people out there like me personally. I don't want to say I have a fear, but I don't ever want to be in a situation to where I'm totally dependent on somebody else to make sure I am taken care of. I want to be able to say, I can take care of myself at the very least. It may not be like I want to all the time, but I can take care of myself. But we do. We have a lot of grown-ups out there that's just like, hey, you know what? I'm just kicking it, but I'm going from pillar to post. I don't know what I'm gonna eat from one day to the next, and it's like, ay, you know. And Tina Marie, how you doing? You say, what were you doing with your money? Have you, you have it? Get an apartment, do something. Says, yeah, don't sound like she has any. You know, she was probably, as Tyra Banks would say, resting on pretty. Oh, my brother got it. I'm good. I'm snug as a bug in the rug here in the house. I ain't got to do nothing because he going to do it and all of that. And then the day came where apparently he was like, hey, I'm not doing it no more. You know, now if that was me, I'll say, okay, listen, brother, for real. What can I do? Can we, you know, come to another agreement? Is there something I can do? I can work it or something. I wouldn't just be mad and put the dude on the internet and, you know, try to guilt trip him into allowing me to stay in the house. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people with false expectations of other people. You know, it's like, at the end of the day, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you anything. And Joanna, how you doing? It says, what's wrong with people? I totally agree. It really is the false expectations, false sense of entitlement. I want you to do something for me, something that I'm not even doing for myself. Now that's what would chap my hide. You're not even doing it for yourself, but you want me to do it for you. You're able-bodied, ain't you? You can work. You can, and you know, I don't advocate anybody go out there and prostitute themselves. I ain't saying that, but especially as women. You know, you hanging out with a man that can't do nothing for you in your time and need shit. If I need $20 and I come to you and we laying horizontal on the bed and you talk about I ain't got it, well, guess what? You ain't gonna get it no more. And I know that sounds kind of harsh, but we shouldn't be in situations with people, you know, especially if we're physical in that way, that will tell you I ain't got it.
It is fact. It is what it is. I mean, there's a price for affection. I mean, it is. It's a trade-off. Guys, historically, we would do the work and we would take care of our woman, or at least do most of the stuff for her. So we could have that part of the relationship. It is what it is. I wish it wasn't that way. I mean, it's changing now because women have evened the playing field. Now women are taking care of men, and it's all up. We don't know what's going on anymore. But it's, man, I don't know. I'm looking at pictures of this chick, his sister. She looked capable. But here's the other thing. Was this grandma 100 years old? Like, damn. Like, I don't know. I'm looking on the internet. It says the grandma is 100-year-old. Like, she's 100 years. How long did he have to financially take care of her? And then the mama. That's what people ought to be asking. If I took care of you for 20 years, let's just say I spent $100,000 a year taking care of you. Because it costs money to take care of somebody. It does. A big house, taking care of multiple people. Sounds like he was taking care of at least 3. 20 years, 100 grand, that's $2 million. And he played a long time ago. Jalen Rose didn't play in the days where these guys were getting $20 million a year like they're doing now. He played back in the days. You know what I'm saying? This guy's like $2 million. Yeah, that's a lot of people in the NBA then, and probably even now, that ain't getting that kind of money. You know what I'm saying?
Let me speak to this. And Al, you say when you are not your parents' favorite, you get treated differently, and clearly she wasn't. It's funny because I saw this on the internet. I wish I could share it. It was so profound. I can't remember who it was that shared it, but it was a guy, and he says, even though you have siblings and y'all came from the same parents, you actually don't have the same parents. And he broke it down and said, so let's take me and my brother here. We have 4. It's 4 of us between us. Walter's the oldest. So him being the oldest, our parents were the first time that they were a parent, right? So they didn't know what they were doing. Maybe they spoiled, and Walter spoiled rotten. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Shit.
Yes, you are.
Ooh.
Spoiled rotten. He's spoiled rotten.
Whatever.
And they let him get away with a lot because it's their first child. I come along, I'm the middle child, and so they kind of got the hang of it a little bit. And they've evolved. They're a little older now, and they're different people. And so now they're different parents because they weren't brand new parents. They're kind of experienced parents with me. So maybe I'm not getting spoiled, and I wasn't spoiled. And then when my sister comes along, they're older and they're got more of a hang of it, and they see things differently. And so you actually have different parents. And so, Al, I say that to say a lot of times children think, oh, well, my parents are treating me differently, or they have a favorite child. And I'm not saying some parents don't, but maybe you're that child that is accusing the parent of treating them differently. Maybe they're not really looking at it and saying, oh, well, it's not that they like my sibling better. We just have a different type of relationship, which was true with all of my siblings. Me and my sister, is a running joke between me and her that my mom loved my brothers more, even though we did more for her. She loved my brother. They couldn't do anything wrong. Like my brother here, he would pick her up, and she would call me, oh yes, your brother, he took me to the beach, and we were in some convertible you rented one day, and you took it to the Ritz-Carlton and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if she brags about the stuff I do for her. But I'm laughing, but it's like,
well, she didn't say shit to me about that day. I know exactly the day. Actually, I used to take my mama to the Ritz-Carlton all the time. But I'm trying to remember that day. My mom, she loved the Ritz-Carlton. I'd be like, hey mom, what you want to do today? Shit, before I can even finish this, she'd be shit. My
right.
Mama, she stayed Ritz.
But right. But I say that to say, I know my parents loved us. They might have had a different relationship with each one of us. And so sometimes, yeah, and then the other part too, Al, I see your other comment. Let me get to the other ones before I get to your comment. And Elevate, my mind says sibling rivalry right here. Yeah, we rarely have sibling rivalry We do a little bit, but it's all love in 5 minutes or so. And then Patty says, "Oh, I knew I didn't know y'all were a brother and sister." Yeah, he's way older than me. And Joanne, you say exactly from a family of 8. So yeah, from the oldest to the youngest, your parents treated each child differently, but that don't mean they loved them less. They just treated you differently, right? Mm-hmm. Al, you say F family. The people that are really your family are the ones that are not blood related. Well, I get where you're going with that. So that sometimes that's true. You have friends that love you more, but you'll have a different relationship. But yeah, sometimes your family, they're not that great to you. But I always ask people this, and this is no admonishment to you, Al, I'm just speaking in general. Are you a great family member? Because a lot of times we complain about, oh, my family is horrible, they're horrible, they're horrible. Well, how are you as a family member? What would they say about you? If you were a fly on the wall of your family and they got together at Thanksgiving and you weren't there, what would they be saying about you?
They'd be talking about you like a dog.
Yeah, what they say, God, Bob is just a horrible person. We glad he don't show up every Thanksgiving because he's negative. He always talking about people. He screwed face, talking about people macaroni all the time. We glad he didn't show up. I just wish he would be more positive. So if you're in a family that you feel is a bad family, and listen, I know there's families out there that are horrible, but you also got to do some self-examination and say, well, what would they say about me? I'll give y'all another story. As I told y'all, our grandfather passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to speak, but I didn't get a chance to because other people want to speak. It's fine. And so people asked me what I would say. And I actually heard this from a pastor of mine who had passed away years ago. And he would say, it's what's in the dash that will last. You have 2 dates that are very significant to you as a human. The date that you were born and the day that you die. In between those dates is a what? A dash.
Yeah.
When you die, or when you're dead and you're buried, do you want people to focus on the date that you died? Oh, he died, it's so horrible. Or today's his birthday. Or do you want them to say, man, when he was here, oh, he was such a great person. He said this, he did that. You want people to focus on the things that you did in between those dates. So I tie that in to say, in your family, what type of family member are you? If you're always having problems in your friendships, are you a friend? Because in order for you to have a friend, you also got to know how to be a friend. There's a lot of people with false expectations of people. Wow, my friends should be there for me. I can understand why my friends, they don't answer the phone and all this other stuff. When the last time you called your friends? And when is the last time you called your friends and didn't need nothing from them? When is the last time you called your friend and say, hey, friend, I ain't talked to you in a minute. I love you. I just want to see if you're all right. Everything good? Or are you calling and say, hey, you know what, friend, I'm in a bind. Can I get some money from you? Or can you are you that friend? Because if you're that friend, yeah, they probably see your number and be like, I'm going to act like I didn't see that. Because I know if I answer that phone, they going to ask me for something. They complaining about something. They talking about somebody. I ain't got time for that. Are you the type of friend that'll call somebody and say, I'm calling to see what you need? Everything good? I know you've been having a rough time at work. They cut your hours. You got food in your refrigerator? Can I swing by or DoorDash you something to eat? Are you that type of friend? Same thing as, are you that type of family member? Walter tell you, I call him down there every morning. And I don't call and say, listen, I sure could use some money.
6 a.m.
And then, like, he's up. If he ain't up, he getting up. And my daughter be like,
wrong with these people?
My daughter be like, stop calling him. He's asleep. I said, well, he needs to be up. I'm going to call him.
I'm normally up. But lately, the last few weeks, I got these CBD tablets, from this medical clinic to help you sleep, supposed to help with, some of the stuff I'm dealing with. And man, I tell you, I sleep like a child.
Send
I don't
me
do
some.
drugs.
Send
I
me
don't do
some.
drugs, but I do. I mean, anyways, long story short, and then I got a jacuzzi in my backyard. So between that and these CBD tablets, man, I'd be knocked out.
Absolutely. So I'm seeing a lot of y'all are saying exactly elevate my mindset. I agree. It's the same siblings. I'm one of 9. Whew. Said the love is the same, but the relationships are different. Yeah. So it's like, how are you interpreting that? Are you saying, oh, well, mom don't speak to me like she's speaking to my brother? But it's like, do she speak to you? Are y'all conversations maybe a little bit differently? Because maybe your brother needs something else from your mama that you don't need, you know? And a lot of that is jealousy. Oh, my mama don't call. She called my sister twice a day. She called me one time a day. I was like, well, how many times do you call your mama? I'm trying to move my necklace because I know it makes a lot of noise and stuff on my microphone. And Joanne said, Demetra, middle child myself, go for the youngest to oldest. Yeah. And listen, us middle children have a struggle of our own. Trust me. Y'all never know. And
Yeah.
Alex,
I don't know if I remember it like that, but I know the youngest child, my sister Mina, got away with murder. Like, I could have never done none of the stuff she did. I'd have been dead.
And our younger brother, she get away with murder all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole different story. I forgot all about him. Yeah, he was the golden child, whatever. But I mean, yeah, relationships.
Get all about him like I forgot him, but just
No, I'm just saying he wasn't in the original like tribe. He came later, so the trials and tribulation had already been worked out. He just walked into a situation where they were apologetic about, trying to figure it out. So at that point, they were just like, okay, what do you need? What do you want? Like, I know for a fact he had Air Jordans. You know what I'm saying? I had zips. You know what I'm saying? I have never owned a pair of Air Jordans, even to this day. I've never owned a pair of Air Jordans. Like, never, ever. I had some zips and some tough skins, and that's how I used to roll to school. You know what I'm saying? I bought my first real shoes when I moved out the house. So yeah, that's what I mean by like I forgot about him. He benefited.
I know what you meant, but I just want to clarify. I know what you meant, but I want to clarify. Ali says, if I say good morning to you and you don't acknowledge me, I will never say good morning to you ever again. It doesn't cost anything to speak. But see, this is the other thing too, Al. A lot of times we take things personally. Walter, what is the book that you gave me? And I always tell people to read.
The 4 agreements. 1, 2, 3, 4. It ain't about you. Don't make it about you. Because most people, like I used to work, so my buddies, I used to work at this financial company. So my buddy, Paul Mirren, right? And so one day she walked past me, right past my desk, and didn't even speak. And I was like, you crazy? Like, she didn't even speak. And then she walked by another day and was like, hey. And I was like, okay, you know what? It ain't that. I'm making it about me. She probably got so much shit on her mind, she probably didn't even see me. And sometimes it takes time to talk and speak to people, because then that's going to be another 45 seconds you ain't got. I get it. I'm the king of walking past people. I'll be like, here. I'll walk right past them. Because sometimes you don't know what people are going through. I had somebody tell me I was stuck up once. I went to this group thing, and this girl was like, oh, you're so stuck up, and you didn't talk to me, and you talked to everyone else. I said, let me tell you why I didn't talk to you. There she go again. I said, let me tell you why I didn't talk to you. I said, because you find I was struggling to approach you. Honestly. And that was a whole conversation. We friends to this day, but we're not friends like that. But you don't know what that other person is dealing with. You don't know what that person is going through. They might be, you know what I'm saying? But you got to that's why it's your job to reach out. Because you can't assume, like, there's nothing you can take personally. Even if I say, you're a son of a bitch, you ain't nobody. In order for me to say that about you, I have to feel that way about me, because people that tend to do well and are spiritually and mentally in the right place do not, sometimes they do, but they don't, most of the time they do not attack or criticize, because they know they've been there. You understand what I'm saying? So the 4 agreements is probably one of the best. And it's like this, you can read it at lunch. Don't take anything personally. Do your best. Never make assumptions. It's like, geez.
And be impeccable with your word.
Yeah. And I know I struggle with that because I'd be like, okay, I can do it. And no goddamn well, I ain't going to do it. And
Or
I
you
can't
ain't
do
gonna do it today.
it. But I be trying to do too much. And so what I'm telling myself to do now is say no. Tell no, I can't do it. No, not only can't do it, I don't want to do it. Hey, can you come over here at 2 o'clock? No, I don't want to do that. I don't. I want to sit in my jacuzzi. I'm gonna smoke a cigar, and I'm gonna sip on this Armagnac from 1988. I don't want to come over and help you. I don't. So I think we have to be better at saying no, and I think we could take a page out of Jalen Rose's book and say enough is enough. Period. If you're capable enough to figure out how to go on social media and it to go viral, like first of all, why is it even viral? We don't know her. Why is it viral?
We like mess. How many people have actually watched that and said, hey, let me reach out to a sister and say, well, let me help you. What have you done to help yourself? You know, we as a society, we like mess. That's why it's gone viral, you know.
But I mean, how did it even go viral?
Well, it's Jalen Rose's sister. You know, people want the dirt on people. Ah, he putting her out the house, you know, that type of thing. And then when they get a little bit more information, it's like, oh, okay. And Al, you say someone once told me they hate when a person tells them I'm not in the mood. Define that. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I don't like people to tell me I'm not in the mood. It's like, well, what that got to do with me? You ain't in the mood. That's a way of saying, you know, when somebody tells you that I'm not in the mood. In fact, not feelings. I want to get back to your comments as well. When somebody tells me, and I hear somebody say I'm not in the mood, what I hear them saying is, I am a shitty person. I'm gonna have a shitty day, and if you get in my way, I'm gonna treat you like shit. That's what I hear when I hear a person say I'm not in the mood. So what am I supposed to? Because what they're also telling you is, so act accordingly. You're gonna have to acclimate to me not being in the mood. Me being a horrible person is like, yeah, I'll tell you one. I'll do you one better. I'll remove myself from you because how do you know that I was in the mood before I came into contact with you? Maybe I left. I elevated my mood and I left. You know, I did something else and I didn't take that out on you. But when people say that, they're just telling you, I'm letting you know right off the top, I'm gonna be a horrible person to you and everybody around me, and you just need to deal with it because I already told you. You know?
Yeah.
And Stacey, you said, I've gotten good about saying no. Let's go back to Facts Not Feeling his statement. Says the problem is in American economy is much greater than the individual worker being lazy or do not want to work. The capitalist system is not designed for and will not benefit the average Black. She says, so the solution is to abandon that system and design and implement a more social, just, and fair system.
That would be perfect. So in the year 2222, when that system is here, holla back. It ain't going, what's up, Jessica Jackson? So, listen, and I want to be careful when I say this because I hear this all the time. There's no fair system. You guys, you understand that the system, like, okay, think about how America was created, right? These guys, Washington and Adams, these guys were crooks. They were outlaws, exiles. They came and they started their own place so they could do their own thing. And they brought the Negro, whatever they call us, over here to help them build wealth so they didn't have to pay us. And sooner or later, we got stronger rights, we got rights and things, but the basics have not changed. You understand what I'm saying? You can't expect the system to be fair, period. So with that being said, you have to be unfair yourself. What do I mean by that? Because sometimes when people say fair, they mean equal, even. You have it, I should have it. No, you have to be unfair, which means you have to get up at an unfair time. You have to do more. There are a lot of there's so many wealthy Black people. I mean, you sent me something too. The number of Black people with money is astronomical. The problem is with Black people, if you tell Black people you got money, they come to you. Here come the churches. Here come this. Everybody got in this situation. Oh, can you donate money to this? It's unbearable. So you don't really hear about it. But Black people have a lot of wealth. My neighbor straight ahead, he works for Apple, him and his wife, and they got 2 Teslas, they got money stacked. He's talking about retiring. He's maybe 45 years old. He goes, I've been collecting my Apple shares from day one. And they tell everybody, Black, white, Puerto Rican, and Haitian, if you get a job, especially if they got stock options and stocks, save your money. If you got to stack your stuff, you get paid, put $1 away. And then sooner or later, you become unfair. Like, here's what I mean by that. I'll give you another point. The stock market opens at 6:30 every morning, right? So on this computer, I have CNBC, and on the TV behind me has Bloomberg. And I literally will wake up at 5, 6 a.m. and I will have CNBC over here and Bloomberg over here. And I'm on that row machine right there. And I'm listening to the stock market. And I'll do that for a while. And then when the stock market opens, I'll make a couple decisions. Like last week, I told everybody, buy JP Morgan stock options. JP Morgan was trading at like 103. Do you know where it's at, right? Where it was at yesterday? 119. 119. So that funky little $500 I put in those stock options was $2,200 2 days later. It's like, damn, where else can you go and make $1,700 in 2 days with just information? So that's what I mean by being unfair. The capitalistic system is one of the best systems ever created. And we need to be careful when we start talking about capitalism is bad. Capitalism allows me and my sister to do this podcast and to sit here and me to smoke cigars and her to do what she's doing and us to control our lives. When you get to a world where capitalism disappears, you slide over to socialism and then it becomes communism. And if you go to Russia, those people don't have rights. Cuba, they don't have rights. They don't have internet. In Cuba, they still have dial-up. If you want internet, you have to go what's called an internet park, and they all sit there and congregate on the internet. When you leave the park, you don't have internet. That's how it works. I know because I was in Cuba for a week, and we had to go to these parks to get internet. If I wanted to send you a message on Facebook, I had to go to an internet park or to a cafe, buy a drink, buy a coffee for $2, $2.50, and they would give you an internet card, and you could sit right there and drink your drink and use the internet. But when you left that bar and cafe, your internet was gone. That is socialism right there. Capitalism allows us, me, or my sister to send me $1,000 and we start a business. So we need to be careful. The system is not fair, but we can make money from it. And there's a lot of Black people that do well. I got invited to a party for Sweetie for Friday. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go. Because honestly, I'm like thinking, what am I going to wear to this to her birthday, to her party? And I go and I'm just visualizing, I'm thinking, what am I going to wear? Because I know when I get there, there's going to be Black people everywhere, and there's going to be Mercedes, Lambos, Bentleys, all kinds of nice cars, bottles pop in. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Black people got cash. And a bunch of it. The problem with Black people, though, is we put our wealth on our back and in our driveway. If I walk into a Black church and say, hey, everybody, JP Morgan, those stock options are going to crack. Right now, they're 103. The earnings are coming out next week. The interest rates are at 7%. You big dummies got your money in the bank at 0. They're loaning it out at 7 for a house. Who do you think is keeping the 7%? JP Morgan. That's going right to their bottom line, top and bottom. And that's going to show up in their earnings call, what you did, and the stock price jumped from 103 to 119. And people made millions of dollars on just that information that I gave everybody for free last week. That's what Black people aren't doing. And if Jalen Rose, she would have had her butt while she was in the house bored in the house, she'd have been doing what I just talked about, and her brother gave her the money, she would be loaded. But we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, and I'll get to this question. CNBC, I was watching it today, and they were talking about the economy is coming to a halt because everybody that got their stimulus check, some of them did something, but most people went out and spent it. The iPhone 13, 12 was cracking. Do you know what they're doing with the iPhone 14? Halting production. Because everybody got all that money, they blew it on the old iPhones, but now the new one's coming up. the iPhone, they have stopped, halted production in a lot of their factories. So we got all this money and we blew it. And then your question, do you think Black people economically are doing okay? Yes, for those that are willing to participate. Black people, we are some of the scariest people financially on the planet. I tell people all the time, and I'm not embarrassed. I ran a financial services company, and I still have Cornucopia, a little small consulting firm. And I spend most of my marketing dollars and time trying to convince Black people to do stuff. And I got to pray on it. I got to talk to this person. Well, I don't know, baby. Putting money in the stock market is dangerous. Well, versus doing what? Versus doing nothing? Well, I don't want to lose money. You're paying $1,800 a month on a truck. What do you think you're doing with that? You make $40,000 and your truck payment is $800. That's losing money. So that's the stuff we need to deal with. So yeah, Black people are doing well. Those people that do stuff. If you're one of those Black people that's waiting for Joe Biden to act right, or for reparations, or for them to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Negroes, we made a mistake, we're going to treat you better," man, you're going to be alone waiting for a long time. So yes, Black people, no one has our hustle, no one has our swag, no one can go through the shit we went through and still come out where we are. The problem is we reminisce with pain, and we do like the shit we're talking about today. Jalen's sister putting them on blast. You've been in this man's house for years for free, and you got a nerve to put him on blast after he's been taking care of you for years? Come on now. And she's not worried about her job. Hey, we saw you on social media. We got to let you go. We can't deal with that here. No, she don't. And I don't know who the question is for me.
That's for you.
Sometimes I think about getting back into the financial game. And I remember we did the Warzone thing and all that, and I was so exhausted because I hate giving advice to people and they don't do it. It's a waste of my time. I could be watching cartoons, and that's just my honest answer. If it was just me being real, I hate giving advice and people don't take it. It's hogwash that when I go into E-Trade every morning, they don't say, "Oh, it's a nigga, shut it down," or give them the fake stock price. You know what I'm saying? When I wire money to E-Trade, they say, "Cool, your money's available immediately. You can trade." And I trade. They don't ask me about my race. CNBC, there's not a camera from CNBC looking, "Oh, it's a nigga. Turn off the TV. Block the information." There's none of that. When I go to the auto auction to buy a car, or when I go buy clothes for my clothing line, nobody asks me my color, my race. Black people, we should be running this planet. We should be running it, but we don't because we're scared. And there's stuff like this. We feeling sorry for the sister who's been in the house a year after the parents dead, and the grandma was 100.
Yeah, she was going to go at some point in time. Facts not feelings. You say we are projected to run out of money by 2050, and it's even sooner than that, from what I understand. But so that's a twofold answer. I would say, are Black people doing well financially? Well, if you know anything about Black people and money in America, they say that we have about $1.3 trillion coming into our community every year. However, we do give 97% of that away. And so there is that. Now, we also know that we do need reparations in order to close the wealth gap between us and white people. It says take about 232 years to close the wealth gap without reparations. So yes, that money is needed, but
it's going to take longer than that. Actually.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to take 1,000 years because, but I can tell you, I'll just put it on the table. Mm-hmm. And I hate to do this, but when I sell cars, right? And I deal with Black people, those are the people that are going to give me the problems. Those are the people. Man, the Mexicans roll up and they'll say, "Shit, something happened to their car 6 months later. I don't have a problem." And I don't know if it's the way we feel about each other, but damn. I had these two sisters come by, and a month later, like, "Oh, something happened to it, and I heard this noise." Like, "You heard a noise? You just kept rolling? I'm going to hit you on social media. I'm going to blast you." I'm like, "And while you at it, tell them I gave you the car without you paying for all of it. I'll let you take it without even paying it off. Tell them that I put insurance on it for you so you can roll it till you get your ass home." You know what I'm saying? Like, we do that to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. So you add that to the wealth gap? Oh, it's going to take us 1,000 years to catch up because we treat each other like crap. I don't owe you shit because you're black. I had a brother walk up to me at an auto auction. I was buying this Mercedes, and we were bidding against each other. And he walked up to me and Miles, my son. He said, "Hey man, we black. We should like have a code, and we should like yo." I said, "No, my man. I came up here to make money. Because you black, I'm not gonna sit here and meet you and us negotiate while the auctioneer's screaming and everybody's raising their hand. I came here to get money. I didn't get dressed for your ass." Man, like, you want me to, hey, black people, everybody huddle up real quick. What we gonna do with this? You gonna get it, you gonna get it. I don't see the Jews, the Mexicans, and the Asians doing that. The Asians will look each other in the face and be like, no, my car. They will literally look each other in the face and be like, F you, it's mine. But because we're black, I need to swing low and work some shit out with you. Come on, man. Like, we gotta do better. Period.
Right, it's like, you don't see anybody else here. You just zeroed on me, and now I got to work it out with you. It's like, nah, I didn't, like you said, I didn't wake up here to do that with you. You know, like to say, you know, the best man win. You know, survival of the fittest, dog eat dog world. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of times, not all of us, some of us, we don't have that healer instinct. You know, it's, well, I want you to do me a favor. And Al, can you clarify what you mean by that, if you don't mind me asking? The other thing too is, and Walter, you hit on something very poignant. I think, like you said, if we have an issue with each other as a black business, we rarely just go to each other and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to continue doing business with you, but I wasn't in love with the way my fish was prepared. You know, can I get you know what I mean? We don't do that. We go right to social media. I went to over here to Fish Fry Daddy's house, and the fish was horrible. Don't go over there." And when I see people do that, I'm like, how many times did you do that to Taco Bell? How many times did you put Walmart or whatever it is, any other business that's not black owned? How many times did you do that to them? But it's like we just almost feel like it's my duty to get on the internet or whatever and kill up this black business because they didn't give me napkins. Like, I was friends with a girl on Facebook, and there was only like really one black restaurant in the neighborhood. It was new, it just started. And she said she was in the establishment and they would have the Dodgers game playing. It was the World Series at this particular time. And the game was loud. And, I couldn't hear. So she did all that on the internet. And I said, did you just ask? Did you go to them and say, could you turn it down a little bit? It's a little too loud. She said, no. I said, so you got on here to say this black business's TV was too loud? Like, what was that? Was that about them? Or was that more about you and saying that, listen, I was victimized in this black restaurant, which you really weren't? They'd have turned it down if you asked them to, but you didn't do that. So we sometimes rob our black economy by doing that kind of stuff. And Facts Not Feelings says Rose is an anomaly, man, which means he's rare. I'm telling you, man, what you're saying does not work for the masses. So he says, well, let me ask you this, Facts Not Feelings. How did it work for us after slavery, in the Great Depression, during Jim Crow, and Black Wall Street? How did they do all of that? Because we know, you know anything about history, there was no such thing as socialism for black people at those times. We didn't benefit from socialism until FDR came into office, and that was through the New Deal program, and he didn't want to even include us in that unless it was his wife was like, yo, you need to include the Negroes, because he was embattled in that he was running for the presidency again, and he wasn't going to be able to do it without black people, which is how we ended up becoming Democrats, was, you know, during the FDR administration, the late 30s and 40s, when they started to bring in the New Deal and socialism, and they included us. So how did we manage to build Black Wall Streets and all kind of other predominantly black towns and do for self? How did we do that without socialism, if you don't mind me asking? You also say reparations is needed. So I'm just saying we must use different economic systems like other countries do. So when you say economic systems, are you talking about that of like Muammar Gaddafi, what he was trying to do in regards to gold? Like, what exactly? Hey, Miss White, how are you doing? And Ali says the 3 points of punishment is how you deal with people that are self-entitled. Okay, so say deterrence, retribution, and protection. Yeah, I guess I could see that. And Jessica, you say, or if we had a bad experience with one Black business, we just swear off all Black businesses, but we give everyone else a chance after chance after chance. You are absolutely right. We need to stop doing that. I mean, y'all gonna always have a perfect experience, but I know, like, if I have a bad experience with a Black restaurant, and if it's fixable, I'll just bring it up. You know, hey, is it any way we can do something differently or whatever? If it's something minor, because maybe they just don't know and they need that feedback. A lot of times we don't give the feedback to them. We go on the internet and we just, 86 their business, because people, especially on the internet, they read people's posts and they won't ever go research for themselves. They'll take the word of somebody they don't even know. Oh, they said it was nasty, so I ain't gonna go over there. It's like, but you didn't even try for yourself, right? Facts Not Feelings says we were separated then, and we practice socialism supporting our own business. There you go. So we practice some sort of it, but where did they get the money in the first place to be able to practice socialism? The money didn't just fall out of the sky, did it? Where did that money come from? The reparations was off the table, so they didn't get any help from the government. So where did our people get the money to practice socialism amongst ourselves? You also say, yes, like Gaddafi, like China. Yeah, so I agree with that, but you know better than I do, we have such a schism in our community, we can't even agree on the time of day most of the time. You know what I mean? So we need to think about that of like Carter G. Woodson and The Miseducation of the Negro. That's a very easy book to read. Very easy book to read. And it was very simplistic. He was saying, let's go back to the things that our parents used to do and re-revolutionize those things. Let's stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Most of us will take our clothes to the cleaners. I have like 6 coats and some jeans I need to take to the cleaners for the winter. You know what I mean? Where's the Black cleaners that I could do that? Do we have a Black cleaners? I need my clothes clean. Do we have a Black car wash? I need my car wash because I ain't in the car washing mood no more. I don't want to wash my own car no more. You know what I mean? Where are these basic services that everybody else benefits from in our community? That's what they had back then. So we need to figure out how to work together, get rid of the jealousy and the envy and the hate that we have for one another, and say, I don't necessarily got to like you all like that, but I want to do business with you, because that's what everybody else do. They don't say, let me size them up, what kind of shoes they got on. I'm like, how they like, man, you got what I need. Yeah, I got what you need. You got some money. Yeah, let's do business. They ain't delving all off into how I feel about you personally. I want one thing, you got it, let's do it. That's how it is.
Yeah, and I think Black people, Black businesses, the ones that do still exist or you can find, are so tired with dealing with Black people that when they do find somebody that's somewhat a good client, I just think they're so bent out of shape that they take all that shit they've been carrying and some of it spills on you. Because I've found Black, and they'd be like, oh shit, now listen, that makes me mad. I get it. I ain't gonna do you like that. So we need to treat these business owners, when we do find them, better. Number 1 and 2. Yeah, I look for Black businesses. If I'm looking for something, I try and go to Black businesses first. I do, but there's not very many. There's, and I don't know what happened to us. I don't know what we're doing instead. I don't. I live in Southern Cal. I mean, in my neighborhood, I'm trying to think of Black. There's no Black cleaners. There's no. I don't know. Like, I'm a Black business owner, so and I have people say, "Oh, it's cool to buy a car from a brother," and I try and do business back with them, but I don't see a lot of us. And there's nothing stopping us from starting businesses. Yeah, I'm just racism and all that, but that's always going to be.
And let me give y'all a beautiful example. And Al, you say Harris Chicken in Houston has lost a ton of business, and rumor is that the business is going to close. Yeah, They didn't have it together. I tried to actually go to Harold's Chicken when they first opened last year, and it was just a nightmare. I mean, they were running out of everything. And I actually been to the Harold's Chicken in Chicago, and they had it together. The food was good, but this one, yeah, they need me on the team to give them some advice, but they probably wouldn't take it. But anyway, an example I want to give y'all is y'all probably can't see it all the way. The background that I have here. Does anybody know what this background is by any chance behind me?
Look like a big old giant house. Is that a wedding?
What do you see? I mean, I know it's black and white. You see black people, right? Anybody know whose house that is? I give y'all a moment to answer whose house that is.
I hope they're black.
Yeah, they're black. It was.
Is that Madam C.J. Walker's house?
Yes, that's Madam C.J. Walker's house. And do you know who those people are?
Her workers.
There you go. Those are all her employees. That's the name of her house. Villa Raro was the name of her estate. Y'all know who Sarah Breedlove was, a.k.a. Madam C.J. Walker. See, I studied Madam C.J. Walker, and that's why I have it as my background, because we're not going to say in 2022 that we can't achieve what she did. Do y'all know that she was one of the first pioneers of the multi-level marketing program? She is where Avon and all these other businesses like that got that from. She was the daughter of a slave woman. Madam C.J. Walker she took in white people's laundry. She had a washing machine. She was scrubbing, on those washer things. And so the point that I'm making is she found a need. She says black women were having issues with their hair, of course, coming out of slavery. You can put yourself on me. Coming out of slavery, women and men too, everybody were malnourished. So when you were malnourished, you can't grow your hair. It was dry, it was brittle. So they said, and of course, they said that she might have plagiarized people's product. I don't know what story you want to believe, but the story I'm going to tell you is she found a way to make products that were helpful for black women and their hair. And she grew her own hair, and she put herself on the cover of her products, and she went door to door selling the product. And then she got an idea. She says, let me hire these women that I'm selling to. They could sell to other women. And it grew and it grew and it grew, making Madam C.J. Walker one of the first millionaire women. If I'm not mistaken, I think she was the first millionaire woman in America, a child of a slave. And that was her. That was her like 19, I think 18 or somewhere like that. All those people, and that's not even all the people that work for her, but she made other people, men and black men and women, rich by an idea that she started out of her house. So I use this picture a lot because Madam C.J. Walker is an inspiration to me, because if she can do it, and you ain't gonna tell me she ain't have a Cracker Barrel hating on her, trying to stop her getting in her way. But Madam C.J. Walker is important because perseverance said, I'm going to be more certain of the story and the excuses I could make. I could say I'm the child of a slave. My mama was just picking cotton, and we don't have nothing. I have 2 failed marriages and a child that I'm taking care of as a single mama, going from pillar to post, washing white people's dirty laundry, trying to figure out how it's going to work. So I don't know. I need somebody to just come and give me a welfare check and I'd be all right. She said, I knew what it was like to have to wash those white people's laundry. And she said, I was sick of doing it. I was sick of my hands bleeding and cracked from washing white people's laundry. And she said, I was determined to figure out how I wasn't going to do that anymore. And that is what you see back there, is her, the fruits of her labor, that big giant ass house. That was a party she had, a party. Now, when she got started, she couldn't imagine throwing no party. She probably couldn't imagine where she was going to get a loaf of bread from, let alone having a big old party like that. And her daughter, Alelia, was huge because Madam C.J. Walker died right before the Harlem Renaissance really jumped off. But her daughter was this big time socialite in the Harlem Renaissance movement, and they would come to her house in Harlem and all of that, and everybody you could think of in the Harlem Renaissance would party with her daughter. She left everything to her daughter. So we're not gonna say we can't do it because she did it. And let's see here. Yes, y'all got it right. And Madam C.J. Walker, hey TJB, how you doing? Jessica say, wow, exactly. Joanne says, back in the day, blacks used to hire blacks, not other races. Yeah, because they had to. Y'all heard of Clarence Muse, I think his name was. He was the older cat in Car Wash. Y'all remember him, the older cat that was in Car Wash? Y'all know he had, and my mom, she was a journalist, so she actually interviewed him. Y'all know that he was a lawyer and some other stuff. So he had all these degrees. Now, of course, he was born, I think, in the 1800s. But he ended up working as an actor on, like they say, the Chitlin circuit and taking the roles at first of the butlers and the, type of step and fetch type of roles. And he took those roles because he says, with all the education and degrees that I had, he says, white people wouldn't hire me. Black people couldn't afford to hire me. But so I decided to go be an actor. And he was saying that because he says, people criticized me and said, oh, I was a step and fetch it, and I was, Sambo and that type of thing. But he said I was doing what I had to do. But he was like, what's your excuse? I paved the way, so y'all didn't have to, shuck and jive on TV and all of that in the movies. I paved the way, so you don't have to do it. So what's your excuse? Why you ain't doing better than me? You know what I mean? So yeah. But so they had to hire each other, but they were successful. We could still have the same ideology. Elevate my mind, he says, and the fact she took someone else's idea and capitalized off of it. My shero, yeah. And that's the story that she actually took somebody else's idea. But you know what? That blue app that we argue on a lot, Facebook, he stole somebody's idea. You know what I mean? He saw they was playing small and he took it to the next level.
Not only did he steal it, he built the shit right next to him. And you know what? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. And here's the other thing. See, and this is where black people fall off the boat. One, who cares if she stole it? We can't prove she stole it. They didn't have internet and social media back then. And does it matter if she stole the idea? And how do you steal an idea? Number one. And back then, anyways, let's give the sister credit. Number two, the whole MLM thing, black people, we need to be careful. As I hear people say it's a Ponzi scheme. Network marketing is not a Ponzi scheme. Target has a network market. Like Walmart has a network market. Sam Walton started Walmart and he was like, yo, we're going to start this company. We're going to put chains all over the world and we're going to allow you guys to invest in them. And you can have you can participate in them. You can own shares in it. Network marketing, the multi-level marketing is the most powerful, easiest system to build wealth in the world. Think about Starbucks for a second. Starbucks is a multi-level marketing company. I know Magic Johnson owns a bunch of them. Fridays, the restaurant, is a multi-level marketing structure. And a lot of companies are. The problem is with us is, and I know a lot of people call it a Ponzi scheme, but just think about, you bought your house. You realize that your real estate office is a multi-level marketing. There's a broker, there's a real estate agent, and they got their real estate agent assistants. That's it. So the multi-level marketing is one of the easiest ways to create wealth, and we criticize it. This woman, C.J. Walker, gave people an option to own their business, to own their hustle, and it blew up. And you see that house back whenever that picture was taken. And to be a woman on top of that, come on, y'all. Come on. To be black and be a woman and build that kind of wealth, that's insane. I mean, to this day, that's still a magnificent feat. But before we get down to the brass tacks of how she did it, we're going to rip her apart, how she stole it. And yeah, I've been in multi-level marketing. I'm not currently, but I've heard people say, oh, it's a scam. It's not a scam. It's how you build wealth. I believe in something. I get two people to believe in it, and they get two people, and before you know it, I got 100. That's how you build wealth, and it's one of the easiest ways to build wealth in this country. And we balk at it. And you know the other side of that, black people, why I'm on it, is we get stuck in these oh my God, what's the word? You know what I'm saying? When you give money and everybody give in and you get money out. Oh my, I got 100 calls during the
Oh,
pandemic.
you talking about the susus?
The susu. We believe in that shit. And I have some of the most respectable people that I know in my life call me with that. And I was like, so where's the product? Oh no, you just put in money and eventually you get money. And I was like,
and you ain't heard nothing else about them susus, because there's probably everybody that got in there at one point in time got beat by the person who started the susu. But I want to say
that started the susu was balling out.
Right. And they ran.
He living next to the BLM creators up in a big house. Not another nigga in sight, in the words of Ice Cube.
But I want to say this: a pyramid scheme and a multi-level pyramid, I should say, because I know we call it a scheme. In a lot of cases, a pyramid is a scheme. It's different than a multi-level marketing. How so? A pyramid is shaped like what? It's from the top down. So the idea of a pyramid is the person at the top is making the most money, right? And allegedly, they're supposed to funnel the money down to everybody at the bottom. Well, that rarely happens. And so that's how it's called a pyramid scheme. But multi-level marketing is actually an upside down pyramid where the person at the bottom says, okay, I'm getting in first. Then I'm going to bring maybe two people in. And then those two people are going to bring two people. And then so on and so on, so on, so on. And so it's actually an upside down pyramid, right? Now, the scheme comes in is where the money does not funnel down in a pyramid. In multi-level marketing, everybody's supposed to be making money off of everybody that they bring in. Does it make sense? But a lot of times it's called a scheme, and it depends on what it is, because the money doesn't travel, it stays. Right?
That's your job. You have your boss and you have your middle management, and then it trickles down. Nobody at Chase makes more than Nobody at Chase Bank makes more than Jamie Dimon. Nobody at Bank of America makes more than Brian Moynihan. That is a true, if you talk about structure, that is a true pyramid. You have a boss and you have middle managers, and then you go down, and then you have, that is the pyramid. And a pyramid is really, the Ponzi scheme is something where there's no product. It's just you raising money and just using money to pay people back. That's what a Ponzi scheme is. Even a pyramid is not illegal. Matter of fact, most companies function as a pyramid. If you go into Walmart right now and you call the store manager, one person is going to walk out. But if you ask for department managers to the front, you're going to get a bunch of people. When you ask for the store manager, you're going to get one. And then you got everybody under. So that most companies are based in the pyramid. If we just act out of knowledge, we can, like, we're talking about this woman in this beautiful picture of her and all her people that look like they're doing well in a time where Black people weren't even allowed to do well. But yet now we're talking about it was a Ponzi scheme and how she stole it versus how she built it. That's the shit we need to be talking about. Do you understand? Oh, hey, scared the shit out of me. I was about to reach.
Yeah, and I mean, you're absolutely right. I saw this meme one time, and it was a boss. Hello, honey chick, how you doing? It was a boss. I'm gonna mute your mic so you can have your conversation. It was a boss or owner of a company walking into the getting ready to walk into the business for the day, and he passed up an employee or whatever. And the employee, the owner pulls up in a nice car, Ferrari or something, and the employee, how did you? I would like to get one of those. How did you get it? He says, and I'm paraphrasing at this point, I got it for you showing up every day, and I'm gonna need you to keep showing up every day. So the point is, the owner is like, I'm making all the money off the labor and the work of the employees, and so they need you, whether it's Walmart, to keep showing up every day. So the Waltons can be the wealthiest people. They say the Waltons are richer than the whole 99% of Americans. They're all, I think, how many of them were 5, 6, 7 of them. The Waltons are wealthier than the 99% put together, wealthier than 99%. So that is the great definition of a pyramid scheme. And that if you, as the employee at Walmart, whatever warehouse you're working at, don't show up, the owners can't make money. That they ain't fun. They might funnel you down a donut every once in a while for, you know, employee appreciation day. But or maybe you get a bonus. But guess what? That bonus is you. I used to work in a warehouse, so I know that bonus is predicated on you working harder.
All day.
And you working harder they offer you that. You're going to get a bigger bonus from you putting in the extra work. You know, so they say, here's a couple dollars that the government gonna tax 35, 45% because it's a luxury tax. And they ultimately walk away with the prize. And so, you know, if you think somebody coming to you say, hey, I want you to sell Amway with me is a hustle, wait till you clock in the next day and you think about what we just said. Hey, Thunder, how you doing? And Diane says, I need to talk to you about starting one. What I'm looking at has all the ingredients for success. We should talk after the program. Okay, I put Walter's email and stuff in the description box.
Well, and let me, before we do that, you can put my email there. But let me be clear. What I tell everybody, because I do get a lot of calls, is if you call me, let's talk about something that is tangible right now. Something we can do right now that's in reach, that we can start and be ready. Be ready to pull the trigger. Be ready. Because there's so much opportunity going on right now. Like the world, I mean, it's just, there's so much going on that we can benefit from. Black people, like we have this swag about us that you cannot imitate. Like, and so many people, you see it. Like I think about, earlier you were talking about the dash, right? And I used to tell people I'm a Kardashian, not because I'm like trying to be like the Kardashians, but like the dash. I used to say I'm a Dashian, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing something with the dash. That's all I mean. I'm not giving her credit, but what I'm saying is, and she just, you know, she worked hard. She deserves some. But the point I'm making is they have assimilated, they have taken, I don't want to use the word take, but they've, whatever, grabbed a hold of our culture and they've used it to build wealth. And even with all the hate they get, they still keep going. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a story, man. This is one of my Java Drew Estate cigars. I got 50 of them. Send me your address, I'll send you. Actually, I'll tell you where to get one. It's my new hobby. But you can, no one has our swag. No one. You put black people in the room and you start a soul clap and we'll get the party started. In the kitchen, on the dance floor, out. I mean, whatever, we can do it all. We have so much talent. And think about this for a second. When you listen to an old black song, Miles Davis, or whatever it is, you think about old black artists, you just think about the music they created. Like we were watching, oh my God, who was this? We were watching Nina Simone. If you know who Nina Simone is, like Cinnamon and, you know.
I can't tell you how many times people have said, I look like Nina Simone. I'm like, I don't get that at all.
I can see that. She so talented. Like nobody could touch Nina Simone. She was wild out there. Nina would be like, sit your ass down, let me play. She was the most talented. And I listened to all these black artists, but behind them, you know, was not a person of color. And then when we got a person of color behind us, they treated us even worse. But we're so talented. The things we created, from the parts of the cell phone to the stoplight to you name it, we have all these things. I think we just need to, one, feel better about ourselves, and two, we need a legacy plan. When Garrett Morgan died, after inventing the stoplight and all the things he created, what happened to that stuff? And why don't black kids know that a black man created the stoplight? Or you go to Italy, you go to Rome, that it was the Africans that created the aqueducts. I've been to Europe multiple times. They were crapping in the street. If you go to Venice, they were doo-dooing in the water. Like, come on now. Like, seriously, Europe, they have a bunch of lakes. Amsterdam is the city of bridges. The whole city is surrounded by rivers. They would just pour their doo-doo in the water. Psh, doo-doo brown. Toss. The Africans came in and they revolutionized the water system. Like, come on, man. Like, that's us. You go to Spain, Africans, the Moors ruled Spain until Queen what's her name? Isabel, I believe, came in. Like, we could go back to that right now if we stop being so damn soft. And like, man, and I'm gonna kind of close with this. I believe in God. I know there is a God, is a God, but I'm just gonna say it. God has given us the power to be the greatest. Nobody argues that the black man, the African, was the first on this planet. If you look at the Chinese, even their current president, he has our nose. Do you realize the Chinese, if you go into their vaults and their soldiers, those are Africans buried in that vault. Like the original, everyone, you go to the Aboriginal, the Philippines, everywhere. You go to Thailand, man, those women are built like sister Africans. I'm telling you, you go to Thailand, you close your eyes, you hug one of those girls, you be like, hey girl, hey sister. You don't know. That's Africa. And they beautiful, they black women, they speak Asian language. So we have all this. Matter of fact, if you take black people off the planet, oh my God, it's such a boring place. Can you imagine music without black people? Like, even Eminem, he said, I exploited black music to make my, like Elvis Presley, to get wealthy or whatever. You know that line I'm talking about, where he talks about comparing himself to Elvis and exploiting black music to get wealthy. And I know he was joking, but he was real. I got Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby on wax behind me in my record player. And I was just listening to that song. And I just remember white people being, yeah, we free, we got one. And then Eminem showed up. It was a wrap. But damn, like, we created, we just need to pay attention to the money. That's it. You don't like the way Chase Bank is treating you? Buy their stock. So when they treat a black person bad, you get paid from it. No, I'm just playing, but you understand what I'm saying. Bugs Bunny said, if you can't beat them, join them. Facebook, I bought their stock options last week. It's now Meta. Facebook is from $300 to $100. Damn. Yeah, the sweetest step. Can you imagine that? Whatever they be doing, I don't know. I can't even imagine what a sweetest step would look like. I don't even know. I haven't been to Sweden. I don't want to disrespect it, but it ain't like our stuff. But
I saw a video of a brother. I guess he was at an Indian wedding or something. You know how their music sounds. And he had a plate and he was just two-stepping to their music. And it was like black people can fit in anywhere. When he was at a groove to it.
Hey man, the Indians got their shit together. That Bollywood shit is hot, man. That song Jay-Z did with Punjab MC, that was hot. I like that Indian stuff. But that's us. K-pop is black music performed by Asians, and you can't say shit about BTS. Man, I had a black kid rip me a new one because I told the joke about BTS.
And you know they all got drafted to the Korean army. They got to go do their civil service in the army.
Yeah, they treat all their people the same. I don't care how rich you are, you getting your butt on the line. But like K-pop is black music sped up and with some booty shorts on. That's K-pop. I mean, man, that's our music. And it's in our face. Like, we're going to use your music and make money from it. And then Kanye sends this chick some headphones. They're like, oh my God, Kanye. I was like, you got like... Anyways, black people, let's start to own our stuff. And then let's make money number one. Tomorrow morning, the stock market's closed right now, but you can go on Bloomberg and CNBC. You can go to watch CNBC for free if you want to bootleg it. and go to watchlivenews.com or TV.tv, and you can watch CNBC. And Bloomberg, if you have a smart TV, Bloomberg comes on for free. And you can watch that stuff, and they will tell you Meta, Facebook was at 300, it's at 130 or 120, whatever it is, and we believe it's going back to 200. It may take a while. Or CarMax is down. Do you realize that Beyond Meat was on its way to $300? You know where it's at right now? Like $18. Like Beyond Meat. Well, me and you talked about buying Beyond Meat. It was going 100, 200.
Yeah, we couldn't even get in when it first dropped. Because it's skyrocketing.
It's at $18. Or there's so many companies right now that are trying to figure it out. Like Adobe, DocuSign. You cannot tell me that these companies aren't like Carnival Cruise Line. I bought a bunch of Carnival Cruise Line last week. When they were at $6, I bought a ton of options. And they got to $8 and I sold them all. I dumped every last one of them. I took that money so fast. But now they're at 8 on the way back down to 6. And so you know what I'm saying? Those are the things you can do regardless of your color. You can do them from your home. And that's how you do it. Black people make the money a priority. That's it. And we do that. Like if black people got control of the money, nobody would be able to touch us. I mean, can you imagine if every black person in America said, we're going to save 10% of our wealth and we're going to invest it. And then after we invested 10%, we're going to spend the rest. Man, you think races are out now? Can you imagine? That's crazy. So, but until we do it and stop, I don't know, whatever the shit we do next week is going to be another hot topic. D asked me today, did you hear about Jalen Rose? I was like, no, if it ain't on CNBC and Bloomberg, I ain't heard it. You know what I'm saying? And when we get to that, now I know we got to stay open to events. And I know this is part of, our job to bring you these social events, but like, what if we spent 2-3 hours a week just studying the market? I can tell you right now, I got a hole in it for my cigars, but this is my inventory for the cars that I have in my inventory right now. This is, I ain't gonna show it to all of it. This is my girlfriend's stock portfolio. She got 2 pages of stocks and options. This morning at 6:30 a.m., this is what me and her are doing over coffee. It's going over her stock picks and our stock picks and what to buy and what to sell. That's our conversation. And the orange is what I told her to keep, and everything else I told her to get rid of. This is the conversation we're having in the mornings before she takes off and goes to work and I get to work. This ain't nothing more important than the money, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't be leaving such a sexy man, leaving him in a warm bed to go out and get that money. You would be at home. So why don't we just get that out of the way so you can stay at home with your sexy man? You understand what I'm saying? Right? Because if money wasn't an option, would you really get out of a warm bed to go into a cold world? No.
And you know what? As Kevin Samuels would say, and I guess he got it from the Game of Thrones, winter is coming.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because I lay in the bed, I'm like, I don't be wanting to get out of bed like I used to when it was, warmer in the morning. I'll be like, damn, I will wait till it get a little daylight before I get up, because, I can get up pretty early, Walter, tell you that. I get up pretty early, but I'm like, nah, it's a little bit too cold. I don't stay in the bed. But I agree with you. I mean, I work from home. Everything I do, I can work from home. I can travel and work and do whatever I need to do or whatever. So, yeah, it'd be cool to have a man be like, you ain't punching no clock. I ain't punching no clock. What you want to do today? I don't know. We making money if we stay in the bed or we get out the bed or whatever the case is. So I totally agree with you on that. Especially at my age, I ain't trying to go be punching no clock no damn where.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm over this stuff. I tell people, man, I'm over it. Somebody asked me today, what do you want to do next? I said, you know what? I found a part of France that I want to live in. And right now, I am selling all my shit here in California, except for Joshua Tree. We're going to build a house there. I'm selling it all. And I'm buying a house in France. And I'm going to visit the U.S. I made that decision today. And I was just like, she was like, what about your kids? I said, I can come back and see my kids. And they can come see me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many things you could do. And I love Europe because Africa's right there. The Middle East is right there. My God. Like, what the hell are we doing over here? Fighting, sitting in traffic and all this crap. And we could be sipping on wine at 3 p.m. You know, in Spain, they shut down. Good luck finding a business open at 3 p.m. that's not a restaurant. You understand? Like, those are some of the things we could be doing. But we got to grind it out, work together, and then we could afford to do some stuff. But like black people, in our time, winter is coming. Like Joe Biden proved to you that he ain't shit. Right? What's that? Or black Visa card. Yeah, email me.
Thunder says, what do you think about One United Bank? I was like, am I showing my numbers? Is it one? What do you think about One United Bank? Is it really black owned or is it black targeted? In Houston, there is Unity National Bank. So this is my One United Bank card is actually based out of California. It is black owned. So it's one of the bank accounts that I do have. Only thing I don't like about One United, I have to figure it out, is how to transfer money in there. And so once I got it to do it on its own, then it's good because I don't, I'm not in California anymore and even so I still was in Los Angeles. So I can't actually go to the bank, but I can do everything I need to do online. And so I just think it was important for me to have a black owned bank account, right? You can't talk about banking or doing business with black people and not at least having a black owned bank account. So it's one of the bank accounts that I do have. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that bank. I mean, I'd be open to putting money there. I'm not, they have a credit card, Visa you can use. I know a lot of these companies, when they start these, they have a debit card. You got to transfer money to it. And there's fees and stuff to get to it. But I like I said, a black bank sounds like Culture Capital sounds such a good idea. And Black America, don't be confused. When I say drink wine at 3, I'm not talking about shut down. Like, I'm working right now.
That's one thing about Walter. He gonna work until he hates to go on vacation because he's like, I want to work. So he's forced to go on vacation. Yeah. Lately, he be on vacation, but Black American, how you doing? If I didn't already say that to you. You say, sorry, I'm a workaholic. I would hate to be relaxing like that at 3 p.m. Not me, baby. I get up early, and my goal is, look, I'm telling y'all, I have a book right here. I didn't do anything this week because I, wasn't supposed to be here this week. So I did everything last week. But in this book, I have a schedule of everything I need to do. And I'm like, okay, if I get started at 5 o'clock, lately it's been 6:37. If I get started, I could be done by 12 o'clock. And I can have the day to do whatever I want. Because I believe in what they used to call, what is it, Walter? Is it an 8-hour work week, 4-hour work week, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, to where you don't spend, if you really got it down to a science, you don't spend all day working to death because we're not put on this earth to work till we die. We were supposed to work and be effective, not work, or trade hours for dollars per se. Because life is about to be enjoyed as well. And so, I'm one of those people. Sometimes I work late in the evening because maybe I have something to do in the morning, but I ain't trying to be working all day long. I want to be able to look at the ceiling if I want to.
Yeah, I'm done with that. And I've worked around the clock. And here's what you can do is you can just work smarter. Like a lot of you guys own homes. And I've told a lot of my clients, a lot of people like, hey, man, you got a house. Like one of my clients has a house that's worth almost $1 million, almost paid off. He's trying to get to that money. We're doing all these things to try and get to the money in the banks and this mortgage and that. I said, man, ain't it a bitch? You trying to get to your own money? Like you got home equity. And that's why I'm not a fan of the residential mortgage first. I think you should get your investment properties first and buy your house later on in the deal. I always tell people that you kiss when the sun don't shine. People, I'm getting me a house. The Lord has blessed me. No, that's the devil, fool. The Lord wants you to get you your real estate that will pay for your house so you can take a moment and spend it with your family. Because I know I got a house right now that has got hundreds of thousands in it, and I can't get to it unless I do a certain mortgage rate of 7%. So I'm selling it. Matter of fact, that's what I was doing, signing my listing agreement for my lake house. It's out. But why would I have just one house when I can sell that house take that equity, buy an apartment building with 10, 15 people in it, and let them pay one mortgage. And then you just chill. Or you get you another one. Before you know it, you got 4 or 5 rental apartment buildings, and you just 3 p.m. you drinking wine. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm over this. Oh, I'm working hard. That's dumb. Work smart. Especially as black people, with our diet and our stress and the shit we're dealing with, man, some of us ain't gonna make it to 80. So be smarter. Put your money to work. I know it sucks. Like when I move money to E-Trade, I don't like doing it. I would rather, like, I want this Louis bag. It's black and gray. It's fantastic bag. And I travel, so I could justify having this bag, but I still haven't bought it. Because I sent the money to E-Trade instead to buy JP Morgan stock options and Meta, Facebook, and Carnival. I can give you the list if you want the list. Right now, Uber is the move. Uber, some people have a $60 price target on a $25 stock. I'm not telling you to buy it because I don't know you. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. It went to $20. I was like, oh, hell to the no. I got that. Boom. Right now, they're $26. You can buy stock option for Uber 40 out to June for $1. For $1, you can buy stock option on Uber till June. If they get the $30, that dollar is going to be 5 to 10. It's a wrap. That's it. $100 is 500. You do that with 1,000. 1,000 is 5,000. You cash out. You start your little business, and you make sure you have chicken at your chicken restaurant, or tuna, or shrimp, or you sell glasses. Don't run out of glasses, black people. And I think that's what Dee was saying earlier. You go to Houston's Rib Shack or whatever it is, and they ain't got no chicken. They ain't got no ribs. So that's what I think other races, I know Asian races do it, and their kids hate them for it. But when the kids get older, they go, oh my God, thank God my parents were jerks. And if that's what you want to call them, for making us focus on the money. Like Miles, one of his friends, his parents are like, no, you're going into medicine. I'm a dentist. You're going to be a dentist until you come up with a better idea. And they're like, that's it. We don't want to hear it. So they push their kids, and I think we get too sensitive with our kids. Get your black behind to work. Especially if you're black and you got a parent, 2 parents in your life that are active and helping you, you have zero excuse. I'm sorry. I have zero tolerance for somebody with 2 parents, a parent that's on your corner, and you suck at life. Stop embarrassing the race. Get your ass up early and work. Period. That's all there is to it. There's nothing else. And then when you get to the point where you've got enough put aside, then you can take a break. Man, I wish I could go back in time and boy, I had all my parents, and I could say, okay, let's get the money straight. So by the time I'm 50, we're worth millions. And chances are, if we've done that, there's a good chance that all of my parents would probably still be alive. You know why? Because wealthy people are healthier. I'm watching this show, The Resident. I'm stuck on this shit. I can't believe I'm watching another TV show. And all they do is talk about medical insurance. Do they have insurance? Send them to the clinic. They have in The Resident, they have a VIP lounge for the rich people. It's crazy, but it's real life. Like, if I could go back and my father's still alive. If I can go back with my mom and say, hey, here's what I learned. We're going to eat organic. I'm going to come over here twice a week and we're going to walk 3, 4, 5, 6 miles. We're going to do this and we're going to eat healthy. You're not going to eat fried chicken because my mama loved fried chicken. And I hate to call my mom sometimes because as soon as I would call her, she'd be like, can you go to Church's? See, I don't think she did that to you. You talk about favoritism. Every time I pick up the phone, I need you to go to Church's on your way over here. I didn't say I was coming over.
She knew I wasn't going to do it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
I had $1. Huh?
I'm like, I bring you some baked chicken, but I ain't bringing you no fried chicken.
If I had $100 every time I went to Church's for her, this house would be paid off. So, but now we can eat and do better. Like when I go to Whole Foods, the organic food is high as hell, but it's either eat right now and exercise or pay for it later when I get older. Either way, you're going to spend the money. Why not do it now? So those are the things, Black people, we should be telling ourselves. That's it. Let's just get a hold of that. And let's be responsible for ourselves. And let's give our rich Black people a break. Jalen Rose, going back to the subject, should not be responsible for taking care of his sister. It's not his job. That's not his job. Period. And she's been there a year's time to go, baby. Period. Figure something out. I'm sure she went to him and said, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I put you on social media. I ruined your life at the moment. I was a horrible person for that, but I apologize. And here is my business plan. What can I do to repair our relationship? And I would go on social media and apologize to you in front of the whole world that I screwed up. If she did that, he would probably cut her a check. Period. That's it. Yep. She ain't gonna do it because Black people own her. Oh yeah, girl, you got it. And when you're sleeping in the car, remember we got your back. Because we got the contractor in there. Her ass, you better get her a VW bus or something wide enough to get her in it. Because I can tell you, once those contractors show up, it's on and cracking. And he probably already paid the deposit.
Absolutely. So anyway, thank y'all so much for being here with us. We do have a Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Become a member, like the video, subscribe, do all of the above, or just one of them. I'd love and appreciate you for that. And I just want to round it off and say, yes, nobody's entitled to your stuff. You want to help somebody, it's out the goodness of your heart. But yeah, and if you're on the other side of that, don't try to guilt people in to doing stuff for you that you ain't doing for yourself. And I will say this, honestly, maybe I don't know that me and Walter are siblings. One of us is older than the other, a lot older, but we are definitely in our 50s. And I work out I used to work out every day, but now I'm starting to take the weekends off. And on Sunday, I'll go like a 2-mile brisk walk, nothing major, just to keep in motion. But I say all that to say, along with having money, yeah, we do need to have health as well, because back in the day, y'all know rich people had all the health problems because they ate all the meat and the carbs and all the unhealthy food. But now it's the opposite way around. Now the poor people were a little bit more on the healthier side, but they have a little scurvy and stuff like that, but they didn't have issues from eating the wrong foods. And so now it's the other way around, where people with less resources are eating the most unhealthiest, and the rich people are eating healthier because they understand that if I'm going to be here to spend that money, I'm going to need to be healthy. And so I too go to like Whole Foods, Sprouts, and Trader Joe's, those type of stores. I go to Kroger every once in a while, Walmart if I'm in the area. But I go to those places because I know that that food is a better quality. And I learned this from my daddy, being in the nation. They ain't gonna kill their people. They ain't gonna take no bad food in the white neighborhoods and kill their people. They typically gonna have better food. So I go over there and spend a little bit more money. But as Walter said, you're gonna pay now, you're gonna pay later. You get to decide. But you're not in the habit of eating better. Start with something. Drink more water than you do soda. Have baked chicken instead of fried. And definitely, go work out every once in a while. Hell, this morning I went to boot camp and I wanted to stop 5 minutes into the class, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. And I'm glad that I did. I was tired when I got home. But anyway, let me get the hell out of here. We'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so much. The next time y'all see us on here live, it'll be Donovan and I on Sunday. The Demetra K Show. Again, we will be live with you all. So you guys, please have a great rest of your evening. We love you so much. Take care. Peace.
Peace out.